All right, looks like we are all set. Just making sure we have good audio on YouTube. Sounds pretty good to me. So let's go ahead and begin. My name is Jared. This is Engineering the Markets. It is August 10th, 2021. And let's take a look at what we have today. So just to recap a bit of what was discussed yesterday, we talked a bit about some of the economic data that was released on Friday and the short-term and impulsive impact that had on things in the bond market and things in the index of the dollar. We noticed that for bonds, we were coming off of a pretty sharp rally, counter trend rally in the larger uh, overall downtrend. We had some signals that this was starting to top, and ultimately that did eventually roll over, which led interest rates higher, something like the TNX showing some bottoming action around the 1.2 to 1.3 range, and ultimately confirming with some sort of double bottom structure. We're seeing continuation as of today. And so far, we're going to be watching this to see what sort of impacts it may have on notable areas of the market concerned with growth, concerned with high debt or high leverage, and ultimately a return back into inflationary or narratives that benefit from higher interest rates. We called out things like financials as sort of the key benefactor. Oftentimes, we will see financials outperform in a rising interest rate environment. So far, that has been the case for the past couple of sessions. And we had the likes of Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs hitting their new all-time highs, along with things like Morgan Stanley, or apologies, things like Goldman Sachs being larger components of the Dow. Noting that both healthcare and Goldman Sachs specifically are major holdings in the Dow structure or the Dow calculation. And that's going to ultimately boost the Dow if these continue to rise. So that narrative, we will see how that starts to play out over time. Ultimately, we needed a bit more information as this was sort of a 1 to 2 day analysis, but so far so good. We're seeing some continuation and additional upside in those names. Now, counter to that, we had sort of the anti thesis inside of something like energy. Energy not necessarily going to take things to the downside with this change in economic cycle. But we note that crude has been having some trouble catching bids recently. We have a potential double bottom structure forming around the $65 per barrel area. And while crude is one of the main drivers of, it's one of the main commodity assets for the driving of energy prices higher, we could also look at something like gasoline. Gasoline so far in a trending structure, not necessarily seeing the same volatility as crude. And for certain stocks, more in the refining side of the energy market, they may actually benefit more as opposed to maybe some of the conglomerates. You want to be thinking things like Marathon Petroleum, which has had sort of better recovery off of the lows as opposed to some of the other companies within the energy sector. So, excuse me. With all of this analysis, we also looked at the dollar. And what's been the concerning narrative is with the dollar in a current position of relative strength, will this ultimately start to see some effect in the overall marketplace? With a rising dollar, we have the fact that the metals market took larger than normal downside moves inside of Monday's session. These are essentially some sort of liquidation break type moves. And oftentimes they not only set significant lows, but the price action tends to move within this area for quite a while as things start to settle and the dust ultimately clears. What this means is that if you're taking trades in these marketplaces, or if you're looking for opportunity here, it can be oftentimes a bit challenging to find good risk to reward and often to find directionality, as clearing these significant lows and coming to these support zones is not necessarily indicative of a buy. Um, Whereas normally if you are range trading, that can often be a signal for sort of an aggressive buy entry. These liquidation breaks and the structure of the metals market, along with the sort of counter uh, or inverse correlation to the dollar, is putting a lot of pressure in this marketplace. And ultimately, I would say this is sort of a stay away for now until the dust clears. Um, that said, we can look for opportunities in markets that didn't necessarily have the same large scale impact. And I'm keeping a close eye on something like copper, which has been an outperformer for a long period of time. We are seeing potential head and shoulder structure up near the highs, so that is something to watch. But if copper sort of invalidates this structure or this pattern, and or if there are other thesis ideas behind growth inside of the copper market, we can return back to sort of our namesakes like Freeport McMoran, um, and look for some trade opportunities here in these correlated companies. So with that overview, marketplace currently still seeing some upside. We're not seeing a ton of bid inside the volatility. As we discussed last week, if you are someone who likes to put on hedging uh, trades or just have a hedge on at pretty much all times, in the event that the market does give a larger than normal sort of correction or adjustment in price, the VIX might be a good option for that. Not only that, but as a person who puts on hedges, you often want to be someone who is buying near the lows, quote unquote, or just when things are a bit calmer. Now, the sort of grinding price action we saw a couple of weeks prior in the VIX has sort of settled. And ultimately, the Friday thesis of seeing volatility rise from last week with that economic report, we did not see that effect. So ultimately, this sort of broke down from the perspective of sort of a rising volatility. But in the larger picture, if you're looking to put on hedges, or if you'd like to have a lowered VIX for your strategies inside of the SPX or SPY related ETFs, then this is sort of the time to be thinking about when to place your next, your next strategy or your next spread. We talked a bit about how to set that up as well. If you weren't attending last week, the idea is simply to look for selling some sort of low end put spread or some sort of downside vertical inside of the VIX, using that to facilitate a long side sort of call spread or call long vertical, using that as a way to sort of capture an upside move in the VIX if one does occur. And it's simply a way to take advantage of the calm in the market before you get the larger sort of correction that often has occurred in recent history. So for those traders who are interested in that, hopefully that's a way to look at hedging. A lot of people also sort of delve into these leveraged ETFs. They look for moments in time where the marketplace is starting to look quote unquote toppy or maybe having the potential for downside. But obviously with these, you have to be careful of sort of their natural decay in how the term structure is set up in these leverage ETFs. Essentially, they are buying futures contracts in order to facilitate this leverage movement. And if the marketplace continues to grind higher, you're ultimately still moving down or even sideways while the market may even be correcting to the downside. So it's very challenging to find these moments. You often have to be really good with timing to find moments to the upside. And obviously, a lot of people have been bullish on the market, so buying the opposite has proven to be sort of the mainstay at this time. So um, looking across yesterday's price action, I was seeing a few sort of trends forming, and these trends are across multiple companies in the same industry or sector. So I wanted to call out a few of these. These have been things that we've either been trading intraday pretty day in and day out, or maybe some new things that are starting to form from significant lows. So first and foremost is sort of the high volatility inside of stocks like mRNA. So we're seeing these large biocap names really taking a lot of momentum to the upside. And as with everything, we know as technical traders that what comes up, especially in this type of fashion, will eventually start to top, distribute, and ultimately find some additional downside. Now, what's so challenging about these parabolic movements in the stock market is knowing when the top is set and ultimately finding moments to catch the opposite move. Obviously, as traders, you want to stay in the direction of the trend for as long as possible, and you're looking for larger moments of weakness to find areas to consider a downside move. Um, with stocks like mRNA, we want to be very careful. Ultimately, this does have a lot of news and catalysts behind it. And there's also a lot of option activity inside of this particular name, which leads us into a thesis of this may be mostly driven by the option market in the form of some sort of gamma related quote unquote squeeze. There is still a lot of bullish activity in the option market for Moderna. We're seeing a lot of call side activity still being placed, and ultimately the downside is not quite as heavy as we would expect for a move this week. But as with everything that is volatile, the marketplace tries to adjust for that volatility. And ultimately, if you are looking at maybe 500 being sort of an area to consider shorting this very volatile name, sort of know what your expectations are based on the marketplace. We're seeing that this week that there's sort of a plus or minus $47 expected move, and the volatility is very significantly elevated in this series, which means if you're taking sort of put related bets, it may be worthwhile to find some sort of strategy that also sells this heightened volatility to reduce your cost basis. And what this can look like is something as simple as looking at the implied volatility across different puts, or even on the call side, if you're seeing sort of a skew in the call side, trying to sell some of this more elevated premium and ultimately facilitate a downside move if you're looking for a counter trend thesis. And obviously, if you're continuing with the trend, we are very extended. This stock has essentially gone parabolic on the daily, and this can continue for additional periods of time, but ultimately the risk is quite high in this area. Now, other stocks are seeing some of that sort of bullish activity as well. We have other biotech related names like Invax, and even the likelihood of, or sorry, even stocks that haven't quite seen the same amount of attention and love are starting to catch maybe some sort of sympathy or sentiment play into their earnings. I'm looking at things like Clove, maybe having a bit of an earnings run, starting to retest some of its moving average resistance, and ultimately maybe even coming up to the 10 area before we see earnings later this week. I believe that's tomorrow. So something to keep in mind across the biotech names. If we shift into the Russell as well, um, there have been other names that have stood out quite heavily, and these have been day traders along with great swing trading stocks. Things like Saba having about an 8% upside move yesterday, close to 9%, and um, seeing overall sort of a mixed bag inside of the Russell, but inside of the NASDAQ, keeping in mind that for healthcare, mRNA is actually one of the largest holdings. So when we think about components of the QQQ or the NASDAQ composite, mRNA's meteoric rise has been helping with sort of stabilization of the healthcare sector and industries inside of the NASDAQ. If we see the opposite take effect, that can ultimately put a bit of a drag towards the healthcare area of the NASDAQ, and ultimately, as one component of the NASDAQ, just sort of put some selling pressure in the index. So something to keep in mind with regards to mRNA. A lot of eyes on that stock at the moment, and ultimately trying to take advantage of it in both directions if the opportunity arises. Additional sort of changes sentiment-wise, we're seeing a bit of bullish activity inside of stocks like Fuel Cell. We even saw Plug, which was mentioned intraday in the Bear Bull Trader chat room. Very significant sort of turnaround bar, and this is of course after its earnings. Bit of a sort of a lead balloon trading scenario on Monday into a complete reversal on yesterday's session. Or sorry, Friday and Monday. Forget what day it is. But this has been facilitated by other, I would say, alternate energy companies seeing a little bit of a bid off of the lows. I'm looking at stocks like QS, and then we have the likes of Fisker reporting last week, but seeing some additional upside this pre-market. So a lot of these sort of, I would say, somewhat forgotten names. Most of them have been just sort of trickling off since we had some bullish activity back in early May, and now they're starting to potentially see, once again, that bottoming action. We might see a bit of a bid back higher and trying to take advantage of that sort of short-term opportunity while it's presented. What's great about this is seeing it in multiple companies kind of confirms that there's a bit of a all industry push in this direction that can ultimately help with the trade thesis if more people are involved across different companies, sort of spreading the activity. And finally, one thing I noticed after earnings for stock BYD, very bullish reaction post earnings, sort of two very strong trend days to the upside, once again occurring off of a major sell-off. This often is showing me sort of the tides are turning quite a bit, and this may have a additional upside from this area. I wanted to see if other stocks that are in similar spaces are seeing sort of that same bullish activity. The likes of Tattooed Chef, which has been sort of in the news in and out as a sort of grocer alternative for a lot of different products, most of them organic or just facilitative of different dietary lifestyles. This one's seeing a bid into its earnings. We may see some more bullish activity if this continues in the likes of Beyond the Meat. And let's see, finally, there's another one, Hain Celestial. This was kind of a new one to me, but if we take a look at this sort of description of the company profile, organic and natural products company, so very similar product space. You can sort of read some of the brands that they're involved with, things like Joya. A lot of these are ones that are somewhat common to those who gross in these alternate food plays. And once again, seeing that additional upside move yesterday facilitated by volume and coming off of a pretty substantial correction overall. If we're looking just at the downside here, we've sort of chopped off about 15% from high to low. So can we see this start to rise, and ultimately will the entire space sort of have a bid into their respective earnings? This is something I'll be watching to see if we can kind of get involved in this area and ultimately try and catch some of that upside. What I like about Hain overall from a technical perspective is we are seeing a lot of moving average convergence in this area, and seeing the breakout candle from this spot is once again a little bit of confirmation that this may have some additional upside inside of it. So those are some things to consider and to watch over the next couple of days. As we shift into just market overall and market analysis, we kind of keep the same theme that the SPY has been holding the 20 period. We've seen trading ranges facilitate testing of this moving average. And so far, we don't have too much of a warning sign above the trading range that has been set in the SPY. We've even come to test it in a pre-market session, or sorry, this would be after hours session. But what we're not seeing is sort of that large extension away from this area. And oftentimes when you have trading ranges, especially ones this tight, what occurs throughout the marketplace is we see a culmination of risk as people are starting to engage, but the marketplace is stagnant. Defining risk both to the upside and the downside tends to be in similar spots. You kind of have the same expected move ranges that the marketplace wants to define risk in either direction. And when we get breakouts like these, if we do not extend very quickly, the marketplace could easily say, well, you're sort of testing the upside risk, and we're not necessarily seeing a move away from value. This lack of participation can often bring the market both back into the trading range, and specifically on a false breakout, coming down to at the very least test the lower end of the trading range. So the next couple of days I think are going to be important for the SPY, because ultimately if we're going to trade sort of sideways, trading sideways near this upper range is sort of a tricky endeavor for traders. It's low volatility, it's obviously very compressed price action, and the risk is that if we don't have enough participation to the upside, this could easily sort of fall back into an area that we've been in for quite a while. What we would need for that to happen is obviously some amounts of selling in our stronger sectors, with healthcare trending very strong overall. We haven't quite seen any downside movement yet. We need things like financials, which are actually moving higher, to sort of give up that gap structure, maybe to even come back and fill the impulsive gap that was made. And then we need something like tech, which so far has been holding, but we're starting to see a little bit of additional selling pressure intraday, albeit nothing really has been lost at this time. So for the SPY to ultimately come into that trading range, something does need to shift, albeit most of the marketplaces are trending back to the upside, and financials have started to catch their legs. So whether this occurs is sort of questionable, but so far the SPY has not reacted in a strong, high conviction, high participation way on a trading range breakout. And that's where sort of pause brings into the marketplace the idea of risk. Same basic idea with the Qs. We talked about Moderna. Moderna is sort of similar to the risk that we saw in the larger market cap names of the IWM. Moderna is just one name, and it's not holding the same weight as something like an AMC or a GME for the IWM. A GME no longer relevant for the IWM. But with Moderna's rise, if we did see something like a 20 to 30% pullback, that would put a little bit of a selling pressure against the NASDAQ. Obviously, with other sectors contributing, that could lead to that downside move. Once again, QQQ is not really participating very strongly, but we are seeing support on the 20 in the same way as the SPY. Ultimately, large selling pressure will not come in until we start to lose some amount of key level support. And what we're looking for is a reason for the market to sell. And with the IWM, bit choppy overall, the thesis of returning to small caps with economic recovery, the idea that the financial sector can be strong with rising interest rates, and the fact that if biotech becomes sort of a mainstay, IWM has a lot of those companies incorporated into its index. So this could be a spot to watch. But of course, day in and day out, we're not looking candle to candle. We're looking sort of larger time frame. And with our larger time frame, we have to always keep in mind that we are mid-range and ultimately at VPOC. So directionality is challenging in this area. Your best risk or reward has always been the trading range lows, returning to value and sort of shooting for a potential extension to the top of the range. That has been the case for the past 6 months, and it continues to be the case currently. So with that said, marketplace is giving us some opportunities. We have some earnings that just came out, the likes of AMC. I see a lot of people are seeing some bullish activity inside of this name. They did report the fact that they are now looking to accept Bitcoin as payment. And we're seeing sort of that, high interest return to both the crypto sector, along with stocks that are sort of mentioning that name. Oftentimes with these moves, post earnings, we will see a bit of sort of risk resolution. The option market has been quite high in AMC. You may see some muted prices initially, but if this truly can start to break out, and as we put back on our sort of daily moving averages, we have some nice sort of resistance targets above, along with sort of coming back to the overall trading range that was ultimately lost. This was set with the initial rise and the automatic reaction that occurred. So be thinking upper targets near the 40s. Obviously, downside targets would be sort of a fade in the post-earnings reaction. So that's it for today. My name is Jared. This is Engineering the Markets. As always, trade safe. Stay tuned for pre-market prep, and we'll talk more tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll likely cover a bit of how to strategize around trading ranges using options. And I've sort of given a little bit away with the idea that when you're trading verticals, selling that higher implied volatility, buying lower, using a bit of skew to sort of give you an edge, and ultimately taking sort of smaller shots in a trading range before it resolves. This can be a way of sort of like a quote unquote income generation strategy, and it has a very high success rate. So we'll look at that strategy a bit tomorrow and talk about some of the details. But until then, y'all trade safe, and we'll see y'all tomorrow.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market prep. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you had a great day yesterday. Good morning, Norm. How you doing today?
Morning, brother. I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing good, man. Doing real good. All right, guys, let's get into it. Look over some of the stuff we had yesterday on deck, starting with Mara. So Mara was on our list. Bitcoin was hot yesterday. It was popping up pretty nice. But at the market open, not a whole lot going on. Pre-market activity looked great. We also had some good action after hours as well, looks like. But in the intraday action, you can see here how choppy it was the entire day. So not looking nice there. You did get a couple of nice drops in here. Maybe just one, really. This one right here. But outside of that, it just got stuck in a range. Here's DKNG. Also, pre-market action was good. This one was a buy now GNOG, if you guys remember. So in the pre-market, also very active. Looked like it wanted to get going. Was not able to. Great rejection
Yeah, yeah.
here, heading all the way down to some levels down here. Um, Choppy action into the VWAP, and then from there, some another drop here. They recover a little bit into the later parts of the afternoon, but again, it was a tough day, guys. Yesterday, there was not a lot of stuff that looked great. Again, we're coming off last week that everything was just, it was a lot of stuff that were in play, a lot of stuff that traded well. It was not the case yesterday. AMD continues to trade very well here, guys. Opening range breakdown, the 5 minute finds a beautiful level of support over here. Clearly, this thing is not trying to sell any lower than looks like 108.32, maybe 108.65. Then you can see here you got higher lows building, and then gets above the VWAP. You got some volume coming in, shoots right up to the high of the day, and then some. Then you got another sell off here happening, which is actually pretty nice if you're able to catch this one. Look how great this thing slams down all the way to the low of the day, and a little bit after that as well. So AMD is trading pretty good. This was actually very good compared to everything else that we had on deck. AMC going into earnings last night, very choppy, guys. Nothing going on there. Workhorse as well, just again not as clean. You did get some, was it earnings, I believe, right before the market opened. So you had
Yep.
this one, right? You had this one initial drop, but it didn't really do much, right? So here's GNOC. This was the one being bought out by DKNG.
Go back to
Also,
that. Remember yesterday when I mentioned
yeah.
their conference call started at 10 a.m.?
Yes, you did. Look
What
at the
happened at
change in
10 a.m.?
direction. Yeah. Look at the
Yeah.
change in direction there.
That's why I
So,
hate it when people are having
mhm.
conference calls in the middle of the market.
Yep, I agree 100%. So that was Workhorse. Then GNOC again, also very, very choppy, guys. Not a whole lot going on there yesterday. So tough day. We have some other ones that we can talk about. Hood also. Hood's been really crappy to trade, man. If you look at their daily, and I want to talk about this because it's one that's being mentioned quite a bit. If you look at their daily here, they has a great couple of pumps here, right? Going into always from 50 to 85 and back down. Even this day, you have some good activity. But the last 2 days, they have been just pure trash, man. Very difficult to trade, very, very choppy, stuck within the range. So we'll see what it does today. Not as much volume. Really not, don't have a lot of hopes for this one this morning. With that said, let's take a look at the overall SPY and what we have coming up for today and this week.
Yeah, a little bit summer sleepiness going on. Spy's flat essentially. Qs are up just a touch, but not heavy volume or anything this morning. Up against all-time high, of course, which we just say almost every week. We had productivity and unit labor costs come out at 8:30. Got some Fed speakers starting to speak. They're talking about tapering and moving up timeline on that, so that could move things here and there, but once again, just same tune. It's summer and not a whole lot of trading volume. So
Yep, absolutely. All right, guys, let's get to it here. Let's remove our list from yesterday, and we will see. Oops, did I do that right? No. Oh, that's acting a little funky. Oh, there we go. Much better. All right, so let's start here, guys. We have a whole lot in our gappers list this morning on the green side, especially a couple of low floats in the way here. So we'll see what that's about. A lot of tickers that we have not seen before, at least recently. So we'll see what's going on there. FULC today. These guys are up 51%.
you were right out of the bat starting with the
Right out of the
FUs.
bat. Yep. Tells you what kind of day it's going to be today. So this one, guys, up 50%. 1 million shares traded right now. I got some good activity here in the pre-market. Let's take a look at the 5 minute, get a bigger picture. So not bad. Low flow sitting at 16 million. We'll add it on here. We'll come back and see how that's
Earnings
looking. Earnings.
Earnings this morning and some phase 1 trial news on a sickle cell drug, I believe.
All right, so I got a couple of things going for them. That's good. Always nice to see these stocks actually move on some kind of news instead of not
Yeah.
anything at all. ARCT this morning, we've seen this before in the past when it gapped up here a couple of weeks back. Now they're up another 26%. I don't like the pre-market action on this one. I don't like the volume. It's extremely light for the price of the stock and how high we are gapping up here this morning. So not sure what to think about this one. For a low flow sitting at 20 million. I'm not a big fan right now.
Yeah,
it can get better.
This is terrifying with minute candles that are moving $2 a piece. The spread is horrendous most of the time. Like you said, not much volume for what it is. I'm concerns me.
Yeah, it definitely does, guys. And even on their big day, only 10 million, going from 40 to 58 right on here. Even then, that is also a little bit lighter volume than what we like to see for that type of move. If you go look at Hood, when they did this, they had 180 million, right? A whole different type of price action. So I won't add this one, guys. If it gets better, throw it back out to me. But at the moment, they're not looking great. FSR today, they are up 17%. Good price action right now, 1.5 million. This was active for us before some time back. It was trading very well. Their pre-market seems a little bit on the choppier side, but I don't remember them having a great pre-market action anyway. So I think this is probably as best as it gets for them. Let's put it on here, guys. They got some good volume today, popping up 17%.
This is my favorite for the day, man.
It is? Nice.
Yeah. So they got a upgrade out of Morgan Stanley, I believe, with a $40 price tag target and potentially up to 90. So I think they've got a decent catalyst in that EV sector. It's been on fire. So we'll see.
Yeah, that definitely want to add on the list here. ORMP this morning, they are up 14%, 250,000. They're not a low flow stock, so nice big pop for them today. Their daily's not great. Their volume is not great. Again, I'm concerned this might not trade as well as expected, right? So I'm not a fan of it, guys. I'm not going to add it. If you like this type of activity, you can, but I'm going to stay away from this one today. Here's Dddd this morning. They are also up 12%, 132,000. A little bit light on the volume. You could tell they don't trade a lot of shares, even on their best days here. On everything under almost 3 million here, 5.7 million, the highest I've seen in the last 2 months. So not a fan of that. The daily is clean. The daily is clean, right? As far as the candles here, I'm just concerned how the intraday action is going to be on this one. Looks like they had earnings last night. Nice little pop here. Again, I'm just concerned with the lack of volume. So we'll skip on this one as well. AMC is definitely in play, guys. So Jared was talking about this earlier. If you joined us for Engineering the Markets at 8 a.m. This one here, obviously earnings last night, and they're cranking. They're cranking. They also have some couple of things coming out, some news that were advised by their company there. So at AMC, guys, 3.7 million, up 10%. You guys know how aggressive this stock can be. So just be mindful. It is not a low flow stock, but just be careful on the number of shares you take here. This thing can move very, very aggressively. All right, I'm going to stop here. I'm just going to punch through the bottom here and see if there's anything that looks good. I know Plug seemed great yesterday. Actually, no, Plug was great yesterday. I remember that. Yeah, Plug did trade very well. We did not have it on our list, but I believe, I forgot who called it out. If it was Brian that called it out, someone in the chat room. But Brian did mention it, and we missed this one, obviously. This was real nice. Today, possible continuation. I do love what the daily has done here, guys. Huge gap and sell-off, recovered yesterday, and now we're above this area of resistance. Definitely like Plug this morning. I'm going to add that in there. And then another one down here that we might like, I'm going to look at. Let's look at Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin doing today? Let's take a look at Mara this morning. Yeah, not a whole lot. Pretty flat right now, so I'll keep them off for the moment. All right, let's see what's gapping down today. KPLT leading the way here, down 33%, guys. Huge drop here. They are not a low flow stock. Pre-market action looking okay for that type of drop. Not bad. The last couple of minutes is kind of going sideways here. A stock that normally gets no volume, under 2 million, everything going back to May, June, April, nothing. So that's concerning when you see that. Again, today they got 832. This is a very weak possible. We'll put it on there just for now. VUZI down 12.8 this morning. Pre-market action, I'm not feeling as much. It is getting better after 8 a.m. You can tell the price action looking a little bit better. I like that they lost this level of support here, but again, also very light volume. I just don't like the stocks that are trading so light like this, 3 million shares, and we only have 186. And if I'm not confusing this one for anything else, we've seen this in the past, and it has not been great. No, correct me if I'm wrong. But I don't know, not a big fan of it. Maybe I'll put as a paso for now. That I hope that doesn't stay there. As well as KPLT, I hope that we can push those off with some better stocks. ATER, we saw this yesterday. How did it actually do? We took it off, and let's see here. And it was a good reason we took it off. It was pure garbage, guys. Just look at the chop here, not good. Any is another one we had. This was a low flow stock that was active yesterday. This is yesterday's action. It got a couple of breakouts at the open. They didn't really do much in there. Today their pre-market action is just all over the place. I don't like the way this one looks, so I'll skip on that one. For a low flow stock, we need something a little bit better. FU's LC definitely has more potential at the moment. Has great volume, up 52%. Let's see if we can get some breakouts and some patterns forming here in this pre-market. VTNR, horrible pre-market action, pretty much flat right now. Again, no volume, down 4.6. Horrible daily. We'll skip on that one. JMIA, if you guys remember this one, this was just wild. A couple of probably a year now since we're trading it almost every day. It was very wild. Here, guys, it is down 4% this morning. 228,000 shares traded. Could be decent. It's trying to lose this level of support. Looks like here. Could be a good possible. We'll see where that goes today. All right, I'm going to stop here, guys. I'm going to take it over to you, Norm. What do you have on your end? Anything that looks good?
I'm not a huge fan of this morning so far, so still looking. Like I said, FSR is my favorite, but
yeah, yep, I agree. This morning's not looking any better than yesterday, so we'll see what we end up with here as far as the list. And if you look at our list, we only have FSR, which looks great, AMC, which is not an easy stock to trade, and then Plug, and that's based out of the great daily chart they have here and the great day they had yesterday. Pre-market action starting to build up here. All right, let's go over to our room, guys. Let's start with Michael. You're giving us Fuel Cell this morning. They are up 7.5, 1.3 million shares traded. Had a big day yesterday. It looks decent. I like that one. That looks good. We'll throw that on there. We'll come back to that. Fabio is giving us NEO. Let's take a look at NEO. I like the daily on NEO. It's like is getting set up to do something. And they actually had a great day yesterday. They had a great day yesterday. And Norm, is this part of this whole EV thing happening with FSR as well, or is it just something completely different? Or is it the EV sector?
I'm not aware of anything on NEO. Yeah. I mean, they've been hit with some of the Chinese regulations stuff. Even though they're not subject to that, they kind of went down with the whole Chinese sector. But gotcha. I'm not seeing anything special on NEO. It doesn't have special volume this morning, and it has no gap. So
yeah, guys. So again, the only thing that looks good here is the daily for a possible breakout of 46. Maybe a possible. I mean, this looks better than any of the possibles that we have right now. So we'll put that as a possible for the moment. Heading down, what else we have? X and FUBU. We'll take a look at X. What do we have here on X? Let's make sure this thing is lined up. Yeah, no volume, guys. X is pretty dead right now. They had a big day yesterday, but for the most part, pretty quiet at the moment. FUBO, they are also pretty quiet. I mean, they're up 2%, but volume only 58,000. I see what you're looking at. All the ones you put on your list have a possible breakout on the daily. Right, they've been consolidating here, but they're going to need more volume than that to get that done. But I like what you're looking at. You're looking for a possible breakout on these stocks. These could be great secondaries, by the way, if you're looking for that specific strategy, that daily breakout out of a consolidation. MVST, I didn't watch this yesterday. How did it do? Yesterday, yeah, pretty choppy. In later parts of the day, kind of got going. It's got some potential, man. They're daily. They've been taking off here. They've been, they have found a nice bottom over at 797. And just been taken off since then, not really looking back. So could be some potential there, possible continuation. I'm not a big fan of it, I'll admit that. But again, we don't have a lot that looks great this morning. Logan, ZEV today, up 50%, 6.5 million shares traded. So we definitely got some good volume in here this morning. What's the float on this one? CEV, we are looking at 31, so not a low flow stock. Let's see where this goes. I like the pre-market action. Looks clean right now. Has great volume, up 50%. Their daily is not great, but again, when you have volume like this, you don't really care too much about the daily as you would as the price action right now. So looking good. Looks like it wants 10. We'll keep an eye on that one. All right, AMC is good. Yes, nice volume. Yeah, that one's looking okay. We have that on deck already. Terry's giving us CLOV this morning. CLOV. You know what? This hasn't traded well in a very, very long time. And every time I look at it, it doesn't look any better. Today, they got a little higher volume, 667, up 2.5. Norma, unless you have something, any kind of catalyst on this, I'm not a fan of this one at all.
It might, but it looks like shit to me.
Yeah, and it trades horrible. It really does. So I'm not gonna add this one to the list, guys. Let's head on down. Dddd. We looked at that one. They reported yesterday after hours. It is just not a great trading stock, guys. The volume is a little bit light here this morning. That can change. You know, you got a nice pop here, 11.8. That can change, but I don't like the way the stock trades. The volume is extremely light as well. Oxy this morning. What's going on there? I don't think this is not. I don't think there's anything going on right now. Volume is very light, pretty much flat right now. Pre-market, nothing happening there. So we'll keep that off. X. I thought, yeah, we looked at X. Yeah, again, I'm not seeing a possible continuation today. But as far as the pre-market action, the daily is interesting, though. I do like the daily a little bit here for a possible continuation towards 2850. But right now, I'm just not seeing it, guys, as far as pre-market action volume. I know they had a great day yesterday, so a possible continuation today. We'll have to wait for this one to hit the scanners, I think. JD, nice pop this morning, 2.3. Man, just very light volume, though. So I don't see a lot going on here right now. mRNA. See a lot of you guys throwing this one out here. Wow, look at mRNA yesterday. Oh, man, that is nice. I did not see this one yesterday. Look at this. Huge run up. mRNA, guys, the issue with this one for me is how hard it is to trade. You know, that's the one thing. Now,
intraday trading, it can be very, very difficult. I mean, this has just been a stellar stock to own over a longer period of time, or swing trade, but yeah, it can be wild.
It can be wild. And when we say that, guys, we're talking about sometimes the pullbacks, right? You can be in a good trade, but the pullback is $5 at times. You know, so how do you hold through a pullback? It's going to be $5 with a good sizable amount of shares, right? That could be tough. Now, if you're taking a little bit less shares, maybe, but then sometimes I find you might as well trade something that is trading a little bit better that you can kind of load up on some good size, right? Depends on your trading style. That's what it comes down to. So if this is your trading style where you can, take a little bit of less shares and be able to hold a $3, $4 pullback, $5 pullback, go for it. But it's just not my style of trading there. Here is Neo. Neo's earnings tomorrow. Okay, we have that as a possible. Let's see how that plays out. Sometimes after the earnings is a better opportunity. Look at AMC yesterday, guys, right? Great example here. Great example. Norm, you mentioned this as well. Yesterday morning, nothing, complete chop. Right, you got something going on here after hours, after earnings. Today, I think this is what we're looking for. Now it's in play. You got a great daily here with a nice pop, gap up of 10%, volume of 4.1. So things before earnings, I don't really
anticipation of earnings is a garbage catalyst in my book.
It is. So I wouldn't really put too much weight on that. Can you have a stock that trades well before earnings? Absolutely. Sure. But for the most part,
can happen.
Yeah.
Not reliable.
Exactly. Space, guys, I love the daily for a possible breakout, man, but the pre-market action is just not there. Maybe it could be a good possible. There's some in here that I do not really like. I would definitely bump them from space because we know they can get going. They have a great daily, but not much going on in the pre-market right now. So I see a lot of you guys throwing space. Yeah, ready for a daily breakout. I agree. If it can get volume here, we can definitely get going. Looks good for that. It's setting up nicely. Okay, let's do a few more and then we'll head over to our YouTube chat. Dan, NKLA this morning. It's just this stock could be a hit or miss. Yesterday looks like it did something here and it still didn't do it in a nice fashion. You can see the gaps that you have in here and just the pure lack of volume, man. It just concerns me. They are finding a nice little bottom here. They bouncing off 10.15 or so now at 10.18, 11.18 up 2%. I don't know. I'm going to put it on here. Let's come back to it. Over on YouTube, guys, what do we have? Jimmy, FULC. Yes, we have that on deck here. I thought we did. Didn't we put? Oh, yeah, low flow. Yeah, low flow down here, guys. Up 72% now and running. So that's looking pretty good for the low flow of the day. Definitely looking nice. Space we have on deck, guys, so that's good. NNOX. I think this is one that I'm not a big fan of. Let's just check. NNOX. Yeah. This is. I
Guys,
don't like this one.
if you spam the chat, especially on YouTube, we're not going to look at your stock. Period.
Absolutely not.
Just gonna say that.
Yeah. Don't do that. It doesn't work.
And you're about to get yourself blocked.
Yeah, exactly. Where I lost my spot here. Here we go. Sage. So NNOX. This one, I mean, the volume, guys, they're barely getting to 1 million shares a day, right? So today they have 52,000 shares. This is why I wouldn't like this stock. I don't think this stock is in play. And normally, look at the trash that we have here on the daily. Just pure nastiness. I wouldn't be looking at this today. I hope to find some. Hopefully, we find something better than this, right? And I think we have on our list already. Space we have on deck, IMV. IMV this morning. This is active. What is this? $2 stock though. Up 33%. Yeah, look at this daily here too. I mean, on a lower flow stock, which I think this is, which I hope it is, that's the only reason we probably even look at this, is 76 million shares flow. At this price target, trading the way it is with this daily, I'm not a big fan of it. So can it get better? Yes, but this is not something I would have on my list. I'd rather watch something like FULC. I think that's a whole lot better action there than what you have on that one. AMD, we have not looked at AMD. We'll probably add AMD. Their volume is lighter than usual today. I love their daily, and somehow they're managing to put in some good intraday trades in here. We'll add AMD there. That's probably one of the main ones this list. NVIDIA, pretty quiet right now, guys. I don't think this really is in play. And if I got to choose between NVIDIA and AMD is definitely going to win. FUSLC we do have, so that's on there already. Let's see what we got going on here. Nathan, thank you so much for the super chat, man. The $5 bomb there. Appreciate it very much. As we mentioned, all donations will be matched by Andrew and given to the charity of the month. So thank you for that very, very much. All right, guys, we're going to stop here. I think we got an okay list. Anything that looks good? No, AMD we have. PLTR. Wow. PLTR.
Doesn't look like it's doing much right now. Yeah. I know it's got earnings this week, but
yeah, I don't see a whole lot going on right now. We'll have to see after earnings how that thing is going to play out. And someone mentioned Hood, last one here. This is just trading so bad, man. So bad. Pre-market has been better than the actual intraday action. If you go back in the pre-market, not that it looks any great. You can see here a couple of squeezes happening, right? And then look at the market open, right? So this is pre-market there. Look at the market open, just pure garbage. And we saw Andrew try to take a trade on this yesterday as he gets back into rhythm here. And it was just horrible. The trading action is horrible. Another example here, guys, the day before, look at the pre-market action. Beautiful squeeze here. That was nice. Then look at the market open. Just pure garbage, man. This thing is just not fun at all. I don't know,
Carlos.
I'm just telling you.
I'm not used to you being so passionate about it.
I'm just saying it from the chest, man. I'm saying it from the chest. And yeah. Guys, let's go over to announcements. We'll come back and fine-tune this list here. Let me my hotkeys are not working today for some reason. Let me just get this over and we'll go from there.
All right. Tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, you've got Mike's Fundamentals of Risk Controls webinar. Most important aspect of trading, I would say, that discipline, which he's going to discuss next week, but we'll talk about that in just a second. Then next week, we've got Kyle, 8 p.m. Tuesday, talking about using Bookmap to assist in your trading. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m., you've got a town hall with Dr. Katz. I'll have two traders from the community discussing their trading journey, and he will moderate that discussion and help get some of your questions in there and such. And then, as I was saying, next week, you've got Mike's Importance of Discipline in Trading webinar, 8 p.m. Wednesday. As Carlos mentioned just a moment ago, all Super Chat donation for July is going to be matched dollar for dollar by Andrew and donated to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. This month's donation are going to Alzheimer's. I'm losing my mind. Excuse me. Autism research. I'm tired, man. I did not sleep very well. It's been a long stretch with the kid sleep regression. So as I said, autism this month, and we will announce that exact charity in the next couple of days. Yes, I think I've got the early onset. All right. If you want to participate in the member trade of the day, trade of the week, take a screenshot of your best trade with entries and exits, of course, mark it up. with any commentary you can add describing the trade. Post it on Twitter, tagging @BearbullTraders, @MikeB_BBT, and @NormBBT. Also use the hashtags BBT Family, Day Trading, and Stock Market. We'll announce the winner each afternoon on Twitter and in the room, and then all the trades of the day are eligible for Trade of the Week, which will be voted on over the weekend and announced on Monday. If you are watching on YouTube and you want to take part in this calamity that we've got going on here, and I can't even describe, use the promo code PREMARKET24. It'll get you 7 calendar days in the room, 5 trading days. Doesn't auto-renew or turn into any other kind of membership. You actively have to go choose a different membership category to continue on. Also, if you want to become an elite member, use the promo code SUMMER40. It'll get you 40% off the elite annual membership.
All right, thank you very much, Norm. All right, guys, let's get to it. Let's start here with our list. FSR looking real good here. Hopefully, you can wait for us to get into some action on that one. 2 million shares traded, guys, up 18%. Norm already mentioned a couple of things going on there with FSR that are making it really, really good this morning. Probably the best thing we have on this list. AMC, great pre-market action, 4.3 million. It is up 10%, guys. Very active this morning after earnings last night. So definitely in play here. Also, nice daily here as well. Here's Plug's pre-market action starting to get going. It has an interesting daily here. 555,000 right now. I like the daily action and the possible continuation towards 30. Let's see if we can get going here. Did have a great day yesterday as well. So pre-market action had no volume whatsoever, but it traded very well after the bell. So let's see if that action can continue today. Fuel Cell is on here. Great day yesterday. Possible continuation. Pre-market action's got some good volume. Again, we'll have to see where this goes. I'm not a huge fan of this one, but it's one of the best ones we have on the list so far, which doesn't say much about this list, right? CEV right now starting to break out of 10, guys. This is definitely very active. Not a low flow, 8 million right now, up 60% and climbing. This thing is on fire right now. Here's AMD. Again, AMD is more of a possible. I think they're going to have a good day. They might not have an explosive start to the market open, as their pre-market is not showing any signs of that. That might be more of a possible, but we have it there to complete our 6 this morning. Secondary list, I'm going to chop some stuff off of here. NEO, I think, can stay. KPLT, I love this drop here. We do have shares for short down. 37 now, 1 million shares traded. Let's see how this thing goes. What usually happens is, and what I don't like is that when you have such a big drop like this at the bell, you just tend to go sideways as people try to figure out, okay, we're going to close this gap, we're going to drop further. And you just get this sideways action, and then the volume dies down, and then it's just out of play completely. So that's my concern with this one. Rarely do we get something that, pops up and then just continues to sell down drastically without some kind of chop at first. So we'll have to see how this one is going to take its place after the open. VUZI, I love this drop, but I don't see anything else that looks good on this one, guys. 242,000, down 13%. I think the stuff that we have on deck looks a little bit better than this one. Yeah, I'm gonna take this one off, guys, for now. JMIA, again, it's just pure chop, I think, guys. So I'm gonna remove it here. And even if it starts moving, I think you're stuck between all these levels, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. There's no clear path anywhere on a JMIA. MVST, a nice day yesterday, continues to crush it here. Let's see where this wants to go. Definitely a good possible. Space, another good possible. The daily looks good for a possible breakout. I have NKLA here. I'm not sure where this thing's going to go. I'm not a big fan of that one. So again, not a whole lot that looks great on our secondary list. We got a couple here that are looking good in our main list this morning. So let's put together some levels here, guys. Let's start with FSR. They are high of the pre-market, sitting at 18. We'll slam a level there, 1804. Above this, we do have another great level here at 1853. Look at that nice area of great resistance right on there. And then the next one, very, very clean, guys, and clear. Level of resistance and also support, 1930. And then above that, obviously, you got this 2013. So plenty of good levels towards the top there. Towards the bottom, I'm going to look to the left first before the low of the pre-market. You have an amazing level here. Great area of resistance and good support happening here as well. Just look how many touches you got in this 1718. So that's looking pretty nice there. Below that, even before you get to the low of the pre-market, you have another level of resistance over at 1687. Look at the resistance happening here, and then below that you do have your low of your pre-market over at 1653. So we'll slam a level there as well. I think you're pretty much set here, guys, as you move towards the bottom. Highs and lows from the last 2 trading days are doing an amazing job and got you covered. Now look at the levels we picked off from the daily. Now look at this pre-market action. And again, you're seeing these levels be respected. 1718. Look at the area of resistance you have right on there, then becomes support. 1804 is the pre-market high, but towards the bottom, look at this 1687. Also a lot of consolidation happening around here, some breakouts happening around there. 1653, this is your low of your pre-market. You can see we got a nice little bounce going off for that. So again, some levels being very active in the pre-market this morning. AMC towards the bottom, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days got you covered. The low of the pre-market pretty much the high from yesterday, so not much you have to do there. Right now, the price action is sitting right at a level, so I'm going to slam a level right on there. That 3708. If you look at that red line now, there's clearly an area of resistance and support happening right on there. Look at these days, 1, 2, 3, 4, all slamming up against that 3708 price level. So definitely want to mark that there. You can see that we're trying to find some support here. This morning, earlier today, we had some consolidation around this price target 3708. So again, pretty important for AMC. Towards the top, high of the pre-market all the way at 3788. And then slightly above that, we do have a decent level here at 4014, an area of resistance. You can see the ping pong action between 3787 and that 4014 there happening as well. So pretty good. AMC, we know this thing can run. We know this thing can catch fire and get going. So we're going to mark some levels even at 44.18 just in case. 46.45 is another good one that we have ready to go in case this thing does decide to take off here. Now towards the bottom, low of the pre-market is set for you already down here at 35.39. But we cannot miss on this level here. This is very, very clean area of support, guys, in the pre-market, 36.16. You can see here we held on to that level and then we took off from there towards the top, 37.88. So definitely want to mark that there in the pre-market. I think that's going to be important for this stock today if we do decide to drop down there. Here is plug right now, high of the pre-market looking at 29.42. We'll slam a level there. Great day yesterday, guys. Again, if you missed the intraday action, I'm going to take you back and show you. I mean, it was just nice. Pre-market activity, nothing going on. And then at the market open, does this little just kind of bullish sandwich there. And you can see it just take off, just takes off nicely all the way to 28 from 25.80. It's just an amazing run, never really looks back. So possible continuation after engulfing here on the daily the previous day and then gapping up again 4.1 this morning. So it looks pretty strong as far as you look at the daily. Pre-market action starting to build here, not the best, but after 8:15 you see more volume coming in here. The candles are getting a little bit nicer. Let's hope this thing is a good one today. Towards the bottom, guys, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days, creating some good area of support now for us this morning. There were area of resistance in the past. Towards the top, we do have a level right on here, good 130.01. Could slam a level there. And then slightly above that, we're jumping pretty high here. See, so this 30.01 has a great level here, resistance and support happening across the board between June, July, and that's July, right? Well, May, June, July, right? Then above that, you're pretty much jumping over to about 30.70. 30.70, another great area of resistance and support happening there. And then from there, you can keep going out towards the top here. Maybe we do one more since this thing looks to be breaking out here nicely. You do have 31.53 as well. Another great area of resistance and some support happening there. So pretty much set on plug right now, looking very good, guys, as it's breaking out to from the highs of the pre-market at the moment, 29.42, going for that 29.55. Let's see if it can push towards that 30 there without getting too extended before we start our market open here. Here's fuel. So, guys, we have some older levels in the past here, and looking at them, I think they can stay here. They look pretty good. 8.42, 9.30, 9.87. I don't think we'll get there today, but you do have some levels towards the top there that you can keep on deck. High of the pre-market over at 780. We'll slam a level there. Above that, we do have 842. That's definitely in play. That is within range. But we do have something in between here. If you zoom in July, right here, you have a level of resistance and a little bit of support, more resistance than anything happening at 810. So 810, a great area there, resistance and support. You can see the breakdown, then becomes resistance, and then you can see the breakdown again off that 810 level. So definitely want to have that on deck, guys, 810. And then towards the bottom, plenty of levels, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days, previous day close. You can go ahead and mark down the low of the pre-market all the way down at 744. We can throw a level there. And I think you're pretty much set, guys. I don't think you need to add much to this chart right now. 1.5 at the moment, 6.9, up 6.9. But man, I gotta tell you, this pre-market action, even with that volume, does not look great. This might be more of a possible. We'll have to see how this goes. ZEV continues to rip here, guys. Up 60% now, man. This thing is on fire. Let's get some levels in here. 1047 high of the pre-market. Towards the bottom, you want to mark down this level of support you saw here over at 908. And then you want to mark down this level of resistance you saw maybe right around here, 980, where you had the nice breakout as well towards 10, right? So that you want to have that in place in case you do come back down. This can now be an area of support as it goes down lower if it wants to pull back a bit here. Now towards the bottom on some other levels of support, we do have this one on here. Resistance, excuse me, 940. So I'm going to mark that down. On the daily, it's a great area of resistance there. Towards the top above the 1046. We're going back now to March, February timeframe. And here, what do we have? Not the best daily, but we do have a level here over at 11, right? Makes sense. These whole dollar numbers are important, but you can see here on the daily around that $11 price tag, you are getting some action there of support and resistance. And then slightly above that, we do have another level, which happens to be 1150. Also some area of resistance and support as well. So I think we got plenty there towards the top and bottom. I don't think we need to add any more, guys. This thing is trading 9.8 million shares right now, and it is up 60%. So definitely in play. Getting a little bit of a pullback here from the pre-market highs. Let's see if that 980 is going to hold as some support. Here's AMD, pretty quiet right now. Towards the top, you're pretty much covered, guys. Highs and lows from the last 2 trading days, doing an amazing job there. Trying to hold on here. The last couple of days all been red. You had a couple of gap ups, but still slamming down. And this level here, this previous day close, becoming very important. This is a 107.58. Great area of support right now. We're trying to hold on to that. Our pre-market low has dropped below that to 107.32. Again, just one giant candle here coming down and marking that 107.32. I wouldn't put too much weight on that. I think the previous day close off the daily is really what you're looking for. You want to stay above that. But if it does drop, possible level 103.88, and then another one right on here at 101.46. So let's see. AMD has had an incredible run. You're getting a little bit of a pullback here as it is extended on the daily. Eventually, I think if it's going to continue to be this strong, it's going to find some support somewhere. We'll see that's going to be around this previous day close line. It seems to be trying to hold that for the last couple of 2 days here. So we'll see where it goes. All right, that is what we have, guys. Our secondary list one more time. NEO could possibly get going here. Had a good day yesterday. KPLT dropping nicely. MVST not doing a whole lot, but it's been trading very well on the daily, on the bigger picture. Pre-market action not that great. Space getting a little bit of a drop here. All right. Space is looking nice. Yep. Space is good. Getting some action. We'll see how that continues to develop there. And NKLA, I don't think NKLA is really in play. I'm going to get rid of this. Yeah, let's get rid of that. And then we have FUCL getting a little bit of a pullback here, up 61%, low flow of the day. Be very careful with that one. All right, we do have our moderators lineup. Let's bring that in. Let's see what we have there. Let's disable this. I'll resize this window. And we'll bring it over and see what our moderators are looking at this morning. What do they like? So we'll bring this here. Resize this. As I am doing this, guys, over on YouTube, we highly appreciate you hitting that thumbs up. Again, it means a lot to us in our channel here, so I highly appreciate you guys doing that. If you're enjoying the content, definitely consider subscribing. We're doing this every Monday through Friday when the market is open, so thank you for that. And if you already hit that thumbs up button, we appreciate you very much. All right, Thor is looking at NEO, mRNA this morning. He also likes DKNG. He's looking at Microsoft. Secondary list, FSR, Space, AMC, and AMD. Dima is looking at FSR, Plug, Apple, and FUCL. Peter, IPOs for today. He's got a few on there and some SPACs. So you can take a look at those. Tiffany's looking at AMC, FSR, and Plug. Do we have Plug? I thought, yeah, we do have Plug because that looks good today too. Jared's looking at AMC, FSR, Plug / Fuel Cell, and watching for the organic food names based on ETM. So that is the list right now, guys, as the moderators continue to put their list together. This morning, we get ready to go live soon with Andrew and Brian trading live this morning. So make sure you hit that thumbs up to get those guys nice and fired up this morning for the market open. So, guys, not a blockbuster list on here, but I think there's a few that look very good. FSR looking nice. AMC very active. Let's see if this thing can actually maintain a good trading pattern this morning. Plugs breaking out pretty good here. So things are starting to kind of wake up a little bit. Fuel Cell, No, this is not good. I got to find something better than fuel cell on my list. So hopefully we do by the time we get to the market open. ZEV, definitely very active. Careful on this one, guys. It can move quite a bit there. AMD is more of a possible, guys. And I'm actually going to move it down. It is more of a possible. I don't think it's really in play today unless it starts breaking out one way or the other. I'm going to move it down. It shouldn't be up here on this list. And let me see what the moderates, if they had anything that maybe I don't have on my list that looks good. I saw DKNG from Thor. Let's take a look at that one. DKNG, yeah, possible continuation after, you know, they've been pretty strong the last couple of days here. I don't see anything great right now, but that could be a good one. That's like Thor has it on his list. FSR, Space, AMC. All right, we got some of those already. Trying to see something we don't have here. I think we're looking pretty good. Plug, yeah, we almost look at the same thing, guys. AMC, FSR, Plug from Tiffany. So pretty similar stock watch list we have out there today. For example, Thor has mRNA. I don't like to trade mRNA because it could be difficult at times, but that's definitely in place. So if you like to trade that type of style stock, definitely add it to your list. That's a good one. Apple. Dima has Apple on her list. Let's take a look here. Apple. Yeah, I think Apple is it's not doing much right now, but you got to keep a close eye on Apple. And I think that's why Dima has it on her list, because we're waiting for some kind of breakout here. Now look at this candle, 149. We got a nice insane candle very early on here. That could be interesting, that 149 right on there. So we're all looking for this. It's been consolidating nicely for the last couple of days. We're looking for a retest of this pre-market highs eventually. The all-time highs, or maybe a drop. So definitely got to keep a close eye on Apple as we move forward here. All right, here's Eamon with his list. He likes nothing today, but if we were to look at something, AMD, Disca, and Zoom, and then short potential on PayPal, but not really anything that he likes on his list this morning. Dddd, we looked at. It just didn't look great for me. That's why I didn't keep it on my list, guys. Yeah, I mean, it's up 14.5 this morning. It's not my type of stock that I like to trade, so I don't have it on my list. But if you do like it, definitely put it on yours. AHPI. You know, this stock is rough, man. I think I took a trade on this one a while back, and it was just not fun. I didn't feel comfortable with the way it was moving with the price action. So I'm going to stick to that experience and just not add it to my list. But you do see a nice little pop here, 20%, 462,000, and starting to get going. Again, just be careful with this one. It can be a little wild. I don't even remember what the float is on this thing, HPI. I don't know if it's a low float. Yeah, it is 3.2. So again, very, very careful. The price action could be a little bit funky at times. All right, here's Brian with his list. So far, he likes Plug, FSR, KWeb. Let's take a look at KWeb. We have not looked at that one. KWeb this morning. This one is up 2.8 right now, 151,000. Sitting on the American Stock Exchange. We don't usually get a lot of stocks like that one on there, but I know KWeb is one that Brian trades a lot, so he knows its movement and he can trade that out very, very well. And actually, he's holding this from yesterday. Wow, nice. You are up nicely this morning, my friend. If you're holding this from yesterday, you got a nice little bounce here of a 49 level here, and now it is up 2.8 over in that 52 price target. So very nice, very nice, guys. If you have not, let me see, do I have this here? I believe I do. Here we go. So if you have not signed up for Brian's swing trading alerts, you can do so. It is on our website. This is what you get. Very, very clean cut. This is from August 8th, right? He sends out this very nice email. Quick update what's going on. He gives you the video link on YouTube that you can go and watch what he's talking about, right? Kind of get the weekly recap. And then towards the bottom, he's going to have his position that he's in currently. And he's going to have a list of stuff that he's watching, why he's watching them, what he's looking for. And again, obviously, these are not investments for everyone, blah, 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 right? Got to read the details in here. But very clean email. You can sign up for this. If you are not part of even BBT over on YouTube, you can go to our website and sign up for this and get this very clean alert email. You know, no extra stuff here, just straight to the business. And we won't spam you, I guarantee you that. All right. Outside of that, guys, we're set to go. Brian should be popping up soon in a minute in this screen over here. So will Andrew. Again, if you haven't done so already, I would like you for you to take the time and hit that thumbs up. It helps it a whole lot over here, and we really, really appreciate you doing that. So thank you so much for that. And as we get set to transition to Brian and Andrew this morning for the live trading. So let's take a look at FSR. We're still holding on below that 1804. And any other ones going crazy? What is Hood doing? Because Hood's been, not doing a whole lot there. Hood is not doing much. ZEV looking good. Good morning, Brian. How you doing today?
Good. How is everyone doing?
Doing good, my friend. I'm gonna go ahead and
Yeah,
hop off and leave it to you. So you got a good list this morning, and we will chat later.
right on. Thank you, Carlos. Yeah, so yeah, we took this K-Web yesterday. Mentioned that in the opening hour of trading. I kind of felt like this. A lot of the Chinese stocks were really oversold. We were getting at least a bit of a bounce here. Um, so just a good way to play that rather than go with Billy Baba, Baidu, or JD. So they're all up this morning again. Riot's looking interesting too. I think Bitcoin's up a little bit here. Yeah, I don't know. Some people are saying there's not much to watch here. I think there's a lot. I didn't even include some possibilities for rising devil trades. There's like a couple here. Um, KPLT is getting taken to the woodshed here. Voozy, Woozy, and Real. It's another one that's looking possible rising devil trade. Hmm. Yeah, I think was thinking about this yesterday because Plug had a weird day Thursday, and daily was really weird on it. It was up one day, down the next, and up again yesterday. I think this um, some of these clean energy funds are getting a lot of interest. I think this infrastructure bill might have some stuff in it to do with clean energy. So we're catching a bit of a bid on that. Um, DKNG. Thor's looking at DKNG. DKNG is pretty flat this morning. MU is down. PayPal. PayPal and Square. Well, PayPal's pretty flat. Square is up a little bit. Nvidia's up a little bit. AMD's finding a bit of a bottom maybe here. Maybe it's going to bounce. Yeah, ZEV is still ripping here. This is going to be, what's this float on this one? $31 million. So it's not really a low float. Wow, pop and drop. Yeah, we were looking at AMD yesterday. Yeah, I kind of had I kind of had a Fibonacci level at about 105. Yeah, Uber's Lyft is down. Uber's pretty flat right now. Here's AMC. Plug FSR. All right, we still got we got 8 minutes to the open. Okay. I took a bit of a long swing trade on Riot as well. So I'm just maybe gonna sell some here, hold some overnight. AMC is starting to warm up here. Fisker's not really doing very much. FSR. Yeah, space is hard to trade. Lots going on here. Just kind of locking in the watch list here. And I'll let you know what I'm looking at as a final list. All right, so my final list here, what I think I'm going to go with is AMC's dropping. Looking at ZEV, AMC, FSR. I'm looking at KPLT and Real for possible rising devil trades. And FULC. Keep an eye on that one too, although I think it's going to drop at the open. No shares for short on FULC. No shares for short on ZEV. I have some shares for short on KPLT. It's going to be on short selling restriction as soon as we open here. VUSI popping up a bit. Real got shares for short as well. Hey, Thor, how's it going, man?
Hey, good morning.
Jesus. Okay, how you doing?
I'm doing
God damn it.
fantastic, thanks.
SPY's coming up here. We've got 1 minute to the open. I'm looking at real as a possible short here. Riot selling off. Got out of most of that trade already.
Man, AMC is being tricky this morning. The market makers represented it really strong, but there were some lingering orders left back at 37. So it was just showing a little too much balance. And sure enough, as soon as it got up through this push back up to near like high of pre-market or whatever, this 37.60, boom, they just dumped it right back to 37. I have a feeling these market makers are going to beat some people up today. We're live, folks. Good luck.
We're open. Here we go.
Ladder is very strong to the downside on AMC right now.
No trades for me yet. Looking at real, possible short. ZEV. ZDEV. Oh yeah, look at AMC in there. No big movements yet on anything. Oh, KPLT is dropping. I took a short on real. Oh, nice. What a beautiful drop. Oh, yeah, here we go. Just going to cover some here. 34. Yeah, ZEV is picking up here. I'm trading real. The real.
Oh man, Neo popped. Dang.
Whew. Okay. Yeah, here we go. Just covering a little bit more real here. 1417. I wouldn't be surprised if this pops up again. The real. Keeping it real. Keeping it real. SPY just took a big drop. IWM just took a big drop. What the heck? Looking at Riot. Looks like it's going to break out here.
FSR just popped. Big volume in on FSR.
Look at that.
Here it goes.
Yeah. I guess got long some FSR. Thanks for pointing that out.
FSR running for 19.
Oh yeah,
bucks.
selling here through 1908 filled. The real still dropping here. I want to see it loose. We're down at an S4 level. So I'm going to actually cover some more here on real. Here we go.
Crazy order flow on FSR right now.
Yeah, it's nuts, eh? Still holding some. What's not to like? Maybe after today I'll be able to afford a Fisker.
There you go. You can buy one now.
Here, yeah. Yeah, are you in any trade yet, or?
Nothing yet. I haven't had anything really set up for me just yet. So I'm waiting a few minutes to see. I really liked FSR, but the volume wasn't in, and the volume came in after it broke, and I just couldn't pull the trigger on it. So I'm hanging out.
Yeah, I think I'm going to sell a little more here. 1933. Real. I'm still holding on to some. Still looking for a loss of 14 here. I don't know if we're going to get it. It looks like it's kind of bottoming here. All right, here we go. Come on down. I'm out of real. I think it's gonna maybe bounce here. Might get back into it if it comes back up to the view app. I got a nice move on real.
I'm short Snap at $80.
Gonna go down more. It just did a bit of an ad on Fisker. 1895. Oh, there you go. You lost 14 on me. Dagnammit. Looked like it was going to bounce there.
Getting squeezed on Snap. I'm going to pop out for a minute and let it finish. I don't like the volume on this rise. So got about an hour on it, though. A couple bucks getting started.
Nice. Still looking for Fisker to move up again here. Getting a little bit nervous about it. I think I'm going to exit it. I'm not sure if it's going to pop here. Volume's dropping off on it. Damn, I should have stayed in real. Oh well, coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda. And I feel like that about going long on FSR. I should have been ready for that. Thing exploded.
Yeah, that was a nice, beautiful pop on the FSR. Still think it might have another pop here. It's just the longer it stays right under this 19 level, the more nervous I get about it.
Mm.
You know, you want to see a nice follow through on this ABCD pattern. Here we go. So this is, yeah. Yeah, volume's really dropping off on it. Here we go. It's really struggling at 19 now. We might have another pop here. Oh. Zeddy's V starting to move here. Yeah, it's ZEV is looking a little erratic. I wouldn't. Yeah, it's just horrible.
I'm short some Apple at the opening price.
Yeah, glad I got out of FSR.
Q's rolled weak. Big bid on Apple at 146. A lot of buying, though.
Well, FSR kind of bounced off the bit of the VWAP here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I can't tell what FSR is going to do. I mean, I could make an argument for both here. Gosh, real is still dropping. I kind of felt like we were going to get real was going to pop back to the VWAP there, but FSR looks like it's still trying to move here. Just got a long again. It's at 1905. FSR just selling some. Here we go. Sold some 1925. Here we go. Nice. Selling more. Well,
Went
still
ahead
holding.
and cut Apple at break even.
Struggling at the daily high right now. See if we can get breakthrough here. I'm out. I'm out of the rest of FSR. Break even on the rest. Don't really like that rejection there at daily high. We'll see what it does. Riot's gone red on the day. That's interesting. AMC looks like it might have some more downside. It came back up, popped, touched the VWAP, and then headed lower. Right at
This is where I want to watch
yesterday's high
AMC.
right now. Yeah.
We got some good bids
Just-
at
I just
35, and we got previous daily levels.
Yeah. I just shorted a bit of it. Not a great, terrible entry. I'm just chasing it down here, but probably going to get squeezed. There's real finally squeezing up here. It's kind of the move I was looking for. Just looking at real, I'm watching real. Still short a little bit of AMC. I just took a small size just because I just really didn't have a good entry on it. But I think it's probably going to head to 35. It's sitting right at this yesterday high. You can do it. You can lose it. You know what? I don't like this trade. I'm getting out of it. Kind of flat on it. Made a couple bucks. Real just shorted it again at 14.20. We're looking for that rejection of the VWAP. There's the reason glad I got out AMC. Just squeezing
Yeah, I'm
back
long.
up now. Are you nice?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I when you
FSR.
bailed, I went in.
Yeah, I should have positioned, to be honest.
Anytime you're like, I don't like this position, I'm getting out, I could practically just
Yeah.
take the opposite position and probably make money.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm holding now here. I'm tight now. I got in just below the daily level, so if it comes back through, I might even bail. Because if this thing's going to rebound, it should do it pretty well right here.
Okay, I'm going to cover some real here. 1403 filled.
There's some good buying on the tape.
FSR is rolling over here. Yeah, nice pickup on the AMC.
Partial.
Yeah, I should have flipped my position. Well, should have flipped my position on that.
There we go. Another partial.
So right now I'm back
partial
short
on AMC at 36 coming up. Partial.
I'm back short but still back short on real.
Haha.
Nice one. Nice
All
one.
right, now we're talking.
Oh, is that right? Ooh, IWM is losing it here.
Oh, nice, Mark.
I'm looking for a loss of
Really?
14. Looking for a loss of 14 again on real. Might not get it.
All right, let's go to 37.
Apple's moving. Apple's up $1. Wow, look at that squeeze. Did you got some more out of AMC? You're back up
yes,
to the
sir.
VWAP.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, we're
Sweet.
doing real good now.
Yeah.
Ladder's looking a little bullish too, so unless it just hits a big seller up under VWAP here, it might be all right on this one. Ooh, what a wick.
Wow, nice pop. God dang, I should have taken that long.
Here we go, baby. Here we go, baby. Here we go. Here we go. All right, partial above VWAP. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gold,
Nice one.
baby.
Yeah, that's beauty.
That just broke gold.
Yeah. The apes are in there buying. I'm not calling you an ape, by the way, Thor.
Oh, that's okay if you do.
Okay, so I'm just sticking with
money today.
There you go. Yeah, like that.
Thor ape.
Rich ape, yeah.
Rich ape. Ape with lots of bananas.
Right. All right. Well, we're having some fun today.
Nice, Jeff. Good job, buddy. You get that big drop on Neo? Neo did a gorgeous R4 rejection.
Hmm.
Oh, Jeff got it. Oh, Jeff, good job. Extreme reversal on that R4. That's so pretty. Yeah, Mike. On AMC, you mean? Yeah. So when Brian bailed on the trade, he did not, and I imagine we're right at a daily level, and this thing was just being all kinds of indecisive there. And what happened was you could see on the level too, especially that there was kind of balance to both sides. And then as soon as Brian cut his position, which it must have been him taking his position off that tipped the imbalance, I think.
There you go.
Because as soon as he took his position off, thousands of his 150,000 shares came off, and when he did, there was a noticeable imbalance now to the top side on AMC. So I went ahead and went long there. I gave it the loss of basically just a loss of my candle. And I'll post that trade in a little bit, and then got this nice little squeeze back to VWAP that hopefully will work out for me. But yeah, Brian was nice enough to take his position off, which just slingshotted my position in the right direction.
There you go. Yeah, that was that was a bad entry on my part, because those levels, the previous day high, previous day low, previous day close, are always areas where stocks quite often find support and resistance.
Oh, for sure. I mean, they're often marked by the large participants, making some decisions. So it's not surprising to see them so adhered to, even days, weeks, months, years later.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Now we're coming back down though, so that might be all. Maybe I just get the squeeze to view app. I was kind of hoping this was going to just turn into some massive run to like $80, but whatever.
Yeah, with AMC, it just feels like there's so many retail traders in this, so few institutions that the retail traders just chase this thing around. There's still a pretty significant short interest in AMC.
Which my DOS is no longer showing, by the way. Does anyone else's DOS have a 0 value for short interest now on no matter what stock you're looking at? Awesome. Cool. Good to know. So for the record, everyone out there in YouTube Landia and everything, if your DOS says 0% short interest right now, probably not right. Pop over to FinViz. I know Brian and I both use like FinViz often to pull the short interest out there.
Yeah, and give us a like, please. Thumbs up if you give us a thumbs up out on YouTube.
Every time Brian says I knew it, you have to hit the thumbs up button.
Yeah, there you go. I'm still short some
like
real.
Drinking game.
Yeah, ping pong without the ping pong balls. I'm still short some real here. It's lost 14 again. Just going to keep pay attention to this because we're back down to low of day here. I'm kind of keeping an eye on FULC as well. Kind of looks like it's trying to hold this 1230 level. I'm going to cover some more real here at 1397. FSR is still trying to hang in there. This kind of looks like so we're still using 19 as resistance. SPY up yet to so we're sitting right at yesterday's high again. Yeah, it seems like it just cannot break and hold above 19. Oh, there goes AMC's popping back up again. Careful with AMC, guys. It's just going to be I think it's going to be a chop fest.
Well, yeah, I agree with you. I think we're like maybe, I don't know if we're accumulating or distributing. Obviously, we're in a range right now, and it could very well just chop here for a while, especially since it has like some earnings style stuff. If institutions are trying to buy in off the retailers, they're not going to let the price get away before they can do it. So they're just going to keep it down here, and it's going to be nasty. But if we get a breakout, it should be epic.
ARRY is busting a move here today.
SPY's coming up to previous high for previous daily highs and R4. So if it's going to run into resistance, this would be a fair spot for that to happen. So just keep an eye on that if you're trading something that's correlating the ETFs. That we might have a make or break it decision moment here.
Ooh, look at
Q's
the
look pretty
SPY
good, though.
rip. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
there
SPY
you
is just busting out here. IWM still struggling. Still below, is the only index in the red now.
Good ladder top side on SPY still. So it seems like the market is fairly bullish in sentiment right now, at least for SPY.
Just
Let's see if that
killing
keeps
it.
going. What's the... ZEV
Wow.
has halted.
Oh, okay. I kind of took that off my list because it was looking so ugly. Replaced it with something else. Oh yeah, look at it. Finally did do a bit of a pop there, and it's halted now. There you go. Did you catch that one? Looks like you caught that one, Keith. Yeah, nice one.
I just took a
Nice move.
short on APPS. Got called
Yeah,
out
it's
by
halted.
one of the traders in the room. Just got a really nice drop on it.
Yeah, I guess I'm long a little FULC just because it looks like it's been holding that level.
Did AMC just do a 920? To the downside, maybe?
Just selling some FULC. FSR bull flag. I don't know. What could be you could say it's a pennant, but I don't know. It just it looks. The 9 moving average on the 2-minute chart is kind of rolled over, and we're underneath it now on FSR. We just did we actually do a 920 on FSR? Yeah, FSR did a bit of a 920, pulled through, dropped through the 9, kind of bounced off the 20, came back up to the high of day, and now it's just rolling over. Yes, I do. I do use a 2-minute chart. I use a 2-minute chart on everything. Here goes real. Now we're kind of losing it here.
I'm waiting my whole life to see if AMC is going to ever do anything else. The good thing about a good entry is you don't get stopped out. Sometimes the bad thing about a good entry is you don't get stopped out. Like you know, I can't take the position off because it's holding, and I think it could, but it just ties up your liquidity. You're just sitting here staring at it, like, you know, at this point, like, just come get me already so I can move on or do something. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Do anything.
Do something.
All right, well, Real's just leaking away here. FSR just lost it. Yeah, as soon as it tried to make that new high again, got after it came down through the 9, it just you could see the momentum coming out of it here. Here we go, FULC, just through
Come on, AMC,
13.
you can do it. Go.
I'm just selling some here. FULC selling 1330.
All right, come on now. That's a lot of
Wow,
buying
here
on
we
the
go.
tape.
Here we go. Here we go. Oh, I'm halted. FULC halted. I'm stuck in a halt here on a
Damn.
few
Just
shares
exploded.
left. Yeah, I know. That was nice.
Was
This is
that
another
1
nice
minute
little.
candle for 1280 to 1393 in 1
I
minute candle?
know.
Is that what I'm looking at right now?
Ridiculous. Yeah,
All
ridiculous.
right. That's the kind of day it
Redonkulous.
is.
It is.
All right, Peter's calling Zev about to reopen. Redonkulous.
Redonkulous. It's the kind of pattern I like on these, on some of these lower floats. I don't even know what I think FULC is a low float. $16 million shares. Yeah, so it's a low float, lowish float. Not super low, but low enough. But this is a nice. I would like to watch for these patterns on these low floats as well. You get this pullback at the open, and then they just kind of consolidate along a certain level for a period of time. So if you look at FULC, you pulled back, and then it just kind of just held this 19 or 1220 level. Just kept bouncing off it. So usually if they consolidate like that, you just can take an entry and you just keep a tight stop on it.
Someone just got 15,000 shares of AMC, just got bought at 36. Might be go time. Or it might just chop
go
forever.
time.
Whatever. Might be. Or it might just be time to chop forever. It was a big grab, though, above the ask. 15,000 shares above the ask at $36. It's pretty aggressive. So that normally means somebody big is ready to go. There's more. Oof. All the selling pressure, though, once it gets up there.
Still looking at real here. Still dropping.
Be careful on Apple. Apple isn't really showing huge reversal signals right now. I mean, it might drop back to like 147 or 147.10, but this does not look like a long reversal on Apple just yet. Volume is too low in this consolidation, I think, for it to be a distribution. So just keep that in mind with Apple. I know it's really extended right now, but it's not reading like it's ready to roll over. There's like almost 150,000 shares of Apple for sale sitting at 148. Maybe that's our eventual target.
I'm going to put in a order here to sell FULC. Say 1410. See where I get filled. Plug's really rolling over here, just showing a lot of weakness. Oh.
Yeah, AMC is we were saying this earlier that unfortunately AMC may just chop for a while. We've obviously got a ton of volume going on right now, but anytime big buyers come in, it rallies up to around VWAP, and then someone starts selling like crazy at VWAP, and it just completely tanks the price. So I don't know, someone big is rolling out of position or something like that. I don't know, but it keeps stalling every time it tries. Too balanced.
Filled. Got partial fill on that FULC. Just literally touched 1410.
Oh, beautiful.
Still holding.
It's holding pretty well after the halt.
Yeah, it's holding okay. I'm a little bit nervous about it.
Yeah. It's buying up.
Got a really good entry on it, so I'm not overly concerned if it starts to drop. I'll just bail on it.
Yeah. Volume's a little high for a continuation.
I got out of the rest of it there. 1370. So that was a really nice run on that.
Yeah, it was. Good
from
job,
under
man.
13.
What a pop you
Yeah.
got on that thing. Great
Yeah.
management, too, on the backside.
FSR continues to leak away here. It's right back into our area where we had a lot of price action in the pre-market. So we probably are going to find some support somewhere in this area. Well, IWM went green finally. And now it's back red. FULC may be done. Real still slowly leaking away here. Yeah, real was actually the trade that made me money today. Same with FULC. Yeah, it was a good day. Gosh, SPY is just pushing higher here. Apple did a 920. Yeah, Snap. Wow, Snap really sold off, eh? Looked like it was going to break out there on a daily.
Yeah, for sure. I actually tried a short on Snap. It was my first trade at like 9:35. Got to move down. I stopped out at break even because I just didn't like it. But it was, right idea. Just a little bit wrong timing. Waited like a half hour longer for that trade. I'd be in that for a full R3, S3. But that's all good. We made money in other places.
Yep. There goes Zed. ZEV. It looks like it's going to break through 12 here. Yeah, ZEV's going through 12. There we go. There's your pop through 12. Easy peasy.
So if there's anyone on the VPA side of things, y'all, that are just looking for some good examples, FULC was a beautiful example that Brian demonstrated on reading your price action, your volume. You had what looked like to be setting up a 3-bar play after the halt, had this big move, had an indecision candle, and it was looking to make a new high. But the one thing we both noticed was just an insane amount of volume at this level. And if you're playing an ABCD pattern, 3-bar play, or any of those things, the volume is very, very critical to timing these. So now it's starting to make a push up after it was able to consolidate and get lower volume. That looks a little bit better, but notice how it's been stuck in this little choppy range ever since you got that big order and then big volume. Now we can go. So this is just to help you guys out with your timing on trades. You don't want to go into the trade on the big volume because that makes it look weak, right? And it's going to make it draw back. Let it come back to the average, let the volume retrace, and then go when the big volume comes back in. And then you get the move.
Yep. I think Ari might be doing a 920 trade here. Not gonna take that. Wow. FULC just monster pop through 14.
SPY still in its rally.
Yes, it is. Did anyone? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, we're not getting a lot of move with tech today. Certainly the SPY is the one and the Dow are up quite a bit too. I was talking a lot about KWeb yesterday, and talking about swinging it to holding it overnight, and I talked about that in the swing trade session. At the end of the day, was going to hold it. I'm just curious. Anybody stick with that trade as well? KWeb. Nobody swung at. Come on. I thought that was a pretty obvious trade.
I want to get more into the swing trading. My problem is because I haven't done it enough, I end up waking up at like midnight and I'm just like, I wonder how it's going. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I got a little short on Microsoft going from VWAP here. I'm going to see if this thing holds this breakdown. Q's tried to drop through previous day's close, but bounced. So this might not work.
That's nice, Cody. Way to go. Yeah, I really liked. I liked the setup on KWeb yesterday on the daily chart. I mean, it just looked like it was a bit risky because you never know what the Chinese government's going to say overnight. But I just thought it was setting up nicely. It really had sold off. It looked like it was holding a level on the daily. Definitely looked ready to pop up here. So I'm out of it now. Wow, SPY is just so strong. What's Space doing? I find Space hard to trade.
Space can have its moments for sure.
Yeah,
it can be
still shorts. I'm still short some real. It's just leaking away here. It's just slowly leaking away. Just can I see? I should be looking at a target on that rather than. So there is a level on real here. Actually, we are getting into this level right now. Oh, maybe it's got a little more go. Actually, I'm going to cover it here. 1361.
Out the rest of my AMC position. All right, small partial on Microsoft. at previous day's close.
Yeah, I jumped into real. I mean, sometimes I jump into these things too early, but it was just reading the price action on real, and just I just had a sense that it was going to sell off. Just looking at the pre-market action, because that's if you notice, usually what I do is I come up with a watch list, and I think like most traders, I kind of feel like the last sort of 4 or 5 minutes before the open gives you a bit of a tell on what how they're going to trade once the market opens. So that's why I really wait till the last 4 or 5 minutes before locking in my watch list. And real was definitely right in front of me. I really liked the way it was trading. I knew it had a bad earnings report from last night, so I just felt like it was ripe for selling. The other thing too is, I notice sometimes that on these, I've had to modify my rising devil trades a little bit, because sometimes they'll just sell right off. They won't pop up to the VWAP. They'll just start selling. So, if they just start selling, they usually just sell off for a while, and then they'll find a level. You can see exactly what happened here around 940. It finally did the pop to the VWAP. To me, that's just a whole bunch of people got short at the open, including me. Then it pops up to the VWAP, which is I'm not going to say it's too much bargain hunting. It's probably more just people covering their shorts that have gotten short early, and that's where I took my second short off that pop on the VWAP. So it's kind of like a delayed rising devil, and now I'm just riding this thing down. This is kind of a classic pattern that I see play out when you get a nice sell-off at the open, pop up to the VWAP, and then a rejection and then lower.
Yeah, it just had to take a little pressure off so they could move it down. They squeezed it back up, stopped out a bunch of shorts, forcing them to buy off inventory, and then boom, they could just slowly walk it on down. Still looks good too. You got good orders, 1340 to the downside, 13 to the downside. I mean,
there is a level around 13, but I've covered it all now. So again, this has been a really nice trade.
Goldman Sachs is all over this one.
Yeah. FULC kind of is a fallen angel, although fallen angels are usually just stocks that are gapping up. The open hits, you get a bit of a drop in the first minute or two, sometimes even less. And then it just breaks to a new high and then just rips higher. The FULC trade is more, we had to wait almost a half an hour before it started to look interesting. So I guess you could say it's sort of a delayed fallen angel. So sometimes what will happen with these, as I said before, you get this delayed fallen angel where it's gapping up pre-market. It doesn't look particularly strong. If you look at the way it traded, sort of the last half hour, FULC really was pretty muted. It kind of did this big run early in the pre-market, and then it just kind of dropped back and then hacked along sideways. So it kind of felt like, I even mentioned this before that we opened, I said FULC is probably going to drop at the open, and it dropped. and then it just hung there, just around 12.20, that $12.20 dollar level, just kept hanging there. And that's, to me, that's always a good setup. The longer they consolidate along a specific level, the more likely you're going to get, people are going to start to say, hey, maybe this thing doesn't want to sell off anymore. I'm going to jump in. So that's exactly what happened. But, you have to be careful with these, because sometimes, I've seen these sell off, consolidate for a long period of time, and then, nobody takes an interest. And then next thing you know, they're dropping another buck. So this is why this is a good trade. You can put a tight stop in. Once they start to consolidate, you can put in a tight stop and hopefully get a nice pop like we got this morning on this one. That played out really well.
I just tried a little short on DKNG here as it crossed under the averages. It moved down through VWAP, so I got a little partial on it. Now I'm going to see if it holds this move down. If it squeezes up against me, I'm going to bail.
Nice. So ARRY, it did a nice little 920 trade here. I mentioned that one at about 10 minutes ago. If you look at ARRY, it's been strong. This is sort of classic setup 920 trades, sort of strong right from the open, right around 10.12. It had a big down candle, lost the 9 moving average, came down, almost touched the 20 moving average, which is where you would have taken the long, and popped right back up again. Now it's actually going to a new high. I don't know why I didn't take that trade.
Now that I'm thinking about it.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I even said I wasn't. I said there's a 920 trade on Airy, but I'm not going to take it. I don't know why I said that. I talked myself out of it.
All right, covering some DKNG. Got a nice little drop on that, so good start to that one.
What was I thinking?
DKNG's been staying underneath the previous daily level all day since it kind of climaxed on volume there around 940. I've watched a couple of retests. Now we've curled under the average, moving average cross 9 and 20. And then level 2 is looking a little bearish, so went for it. So far, so good, as long as I don't get squeezed out.
So far, so good.
Still holding some Microsoft short as well. Somehow managed to survive what's been going on with it the past 15 minutes, but looks like we're back down at previous day's close. It's the level I'm hoping for it to lose. Q's looking weak. SPY maybe topped out. This might be my chance.
Oh, actually, yeah. Q's have gone red on the day. What a weird day. Indexes.
Yeah,
kind of
SPY
moving
rallied
all around.
against tech. You
Yeah.
never really see that often for SPY to rally against tech like that. There we go. All right, covering Microsoft here near low of day. I've been waiting so long for that drop. Good grief.
Boy, Alcoa's been on fire here today. What's U.S. Steel doing? U.S. Steel's been popping up here. All these infrastructure plays are looking good.
NEO is still going down, and it was the absolute best example of an R4 extreme
Nice,
reversal I've seen in quite a while. So anyone who got into NEO near R4 at 46.30, Moss kudos. That's amazing. I'm super jealous. What a trade. All right, there we go. DKNG, come on down.
Snap's right at S3. It's been selling off here. It could maybe put in a double bottom here.
All right, everybody. I'm gonna go ahead. It's almost 10:30. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it. I believe Boss Man
Nice.
is gonna hop on.
Thor, thanks for joining. I don't know what happened to you, so I can't hear you anymore. Have a good one there, buddy. All right, guys. Yeah, it looks like he's frozen. Yeah, but thanks anyway, Thor. Always enjoy trading with Thor. And yeah, so everybody out there on YouTube land, thank you for joining us. Hit that like and subscribe button if you want to get notified. And we always, of course, appreciate you hitting the like button. Helps our ranking. Is this the new BBT uniform? Lightning strike, maybe, eh? Yeah, please do like and subscribe to get notified here. So it is 7:30. Just remember, if you're on YouTube, if you're watching us, your feed is delayed, and if you want to actually join the room, we've always got lots of opportunities to trade here. You can try us for 1 week, $24. That's all it takes. Just use that pre-market code